primaries for the election? Oh, good job, guys. September 12th. Please make sure you ingrain that date in your mind. And so before Richard comes out, I'll make one more plea. So, like I said, for those of you that know Richard, knows his history, knows his just his work ethic and kind of what he's done for the past 10 years. Since he is 25, he started young, right? Kidding, he's 50. So, So one of the things, one of the things that Richard and I, when we started the Indo-Caribbean Alliance, we wanted to kind of reshape the image that our community has. And so prior to us starting ICA, we were a bunch of young kids in college, except Richard. But we wanted a space in the community where young people can get involved and they can feel like they're a part of something, because for a long time there wasn't space for young people to come together, give back to their community, not just doing community service, but if you have a passion, if you have an idea of what we would like to see our community look like, we wanted a space where people can come, feel welcome, and get the support they need to make the change in the community that they feel is necessary, because we are progressive. Right? So we've come, I think, a very far away from where we were 10 years ago. And I think a lot of that is the work that ICA did through the leadership of Richard. He is a co-founder, and just personally, one of the things that he's done for my life, at that time, being in college and being a young woman and wanting to get involved in something, coming in a community where women weren't always necessarily welcomed or respected, especially if we were young. And when we started the Indo-Caribbean Alliance, there were many nights I went home crying where I felt like I was smart, I was educated, I was doing all the right things, but when I came to share my ideas, they weren't welcome. And there were people in a room that wouldn't even acknowledge my presence because I was female and I was young. And I would go home and he would be the one to tell me, no, you're going to keep doing it, you're going to keep going out, you're going to keep speaking, and people will respect you and they will listen to you. And the days that I felt like I couldn't do it anymore, he would be by my side and we would be in a room and there would be all these people, business owners and politicians and just, everyone with power and influence, and I would feel this little. And whenever I was next to him, he would pull me and he would say, this is Folly Dejanoff, and she's a co-founder of ICA, and you need to know her. And he would make them shake my hand, and he would make them acknowledge me. To the day that today, 10 years later, we're in a community where other young people like myself, female, male and female, can co-found organizations that can take leadership roles and feel confident and feel recognized. And I think a lot of that are contributed to the work that Richard does. And that was just from a personal level. There's so much more that he's done as a young leader. And that's why I personally support him, because for 10 years we did this. We break barriers, we did community service, we got into politics, we got into youth programs, we did everything that we wanted to have that we didn't have growing up. And a lot of that was behind this man. So I think if we can go out September 12th, you guys, get everybody, family members, friends, spread the word, use your social media, get his name out there so that people can come out and see the change they want to see in this world. Please give it up for our next City Council member, Richard David.
Alright, story done. Folly don't tell the whole story. Good thing I'm not running against her, right? I won't come close. So, thank you all for choosing to spend your Sunday afternoon with us here, where we're talking about politics. Wow, that's great. Where we're talking about politics. So I'm Richard David, and that's my real name. And I say that, and it's funny, but in this process, people have said all kinds of things about me, and the only people that can verify are the people that have known me for the longest. And so one of the rumors that people started is that I changed my name so that I would sound more American, or I would sound white, or I would sound black, or I would sound something that I'm not. And that's not true, that's my family's name. And in this process, you go through a lot of things, but here we are, about 60 days away from Election Day. Do you guys realize that? 60 days away from Election Day. By the way, I go along with it. If they tell me that's my name, I don't care, right? Because they could start worse rumors than that. That's actually not so bad. Talking to you 60 days away from Election Day, I can report back to you. A lot of you I've seen all along the way, and I'm happy to report back to you that I don't think our chances are as bad as they were initially. I can report back to you that I feel confident that we're going to win on the night of September 12th. The reason I think that we're going to win is because we have a lot of data that says that we will. We've also been out in the streets talking to a lot of people. We're probably the first campaign that's done petitioning. We're done. A lot of campaigns are out there knocking doors today. We're done. And I'm pretty sure we're going to report that we have the most too. That gets us on the ballot and that much closer to winning this election. I'm a Democrat. I'm 31 years old. I was born in Guyana. I came here when I was 10 years old. I live in South Ozone Park. I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. My eldest brother is actually here with us tonight, Kenny. And my mom is also here. She's always had my back. And my closest friends. I wanted to do a young professional social before a young professionals networking fundraiser before this campaign is over, because I know that I'm going to win this election because I need the support of young people. I need the support of everybody. But after all, I think I'm a young person, I think I'm professional, and I think that if I care about these issues, I think you will care about these issues too, and I know you do. And so I want one last chance to get you motivated for this election. I want you to continue to go out there and tell everyone, because I know they're scared. I've heard the stories. A lot of people are worried about the results on September 12th because they know that it's going to be against them. It's going to be for the people, it's going to be for our community. And it's going to be for the first time that we're electing a leader that we're choosing. I'm also happy to tell you that we will be announcing, starting next week, a series of major endorsements from national organizations. Huge, the largest unions in the country are supporting our race. We are so excited. We are so excited to tell you that some of the most progressive, liberal immigration organizations are backing us. And that means more than anything. But you know what people are also going to tell you in this race? They're going to still tell you that we won't elect a person that looks like me. They're going to tell you that because we've never done it. And so Elhaj, who's our campaign manager, Elhaj, where you at? Elhaj, I want you to get to know the people who are in this race. We ran some of the reports. And so let's just go along with that argument. Let's say we needed only, Guyanese Trinidadian voters. That's all we needed to win this election. So we were like, let's just for fun say, all the Singhs and Prasads came out to vote on election day. Singhs and Prasads. Guess how many Singhs and Prasads alone are registered in this district? Almost 4,000. Do you know how many voted in the last election? About, what, 3,000? 4,000. About 4,000. So just Singhs and Prasads. Not the killer ones, not the Baishnaths or the Hussains or the Pandohis, right? The Devanarayan, that's you. We can They tell us that because they want us to think that it's not going to be possible. The moment we let them believe that it's not going to be possible, and so that you should vote for a winning candidate who isn't somebody that looks like you, and I don't mean just a brown person. I mean somebody who actually has civic organizing, social justice, work experience. I have 10 years of government experience, more than the guy in office right now. And so I looked at this and I said, I'm actually embarrassed that he's our council member. We should all be embarrassed because he's a representation of us. And I'm not going to let him represent me anymore. And you should not let him represent you either. We said we'd take some questions, right? We got any questions? Rohan.
Who are the current candidates, and what is some of the word on the street that you've heard since you've been out there and your campaign has been out there? What is the word on the street you've heard about their chances and some of how they're doing?
So technically, and so I'll give you the technical answer and I'll give you the word of mouth answer. Technically, nobody's on the ballot, not even the mayor of New York, because we're all going through petitioning, right? And so the first day to legally file is tomorrow, and that's what we're going to do. After that process, you're going to go through a legal process and then you get on the ballot. And we are hopeful, we're very optimistic, we're going to try our best to get this campaign on the ballot. And we actually want many candidates to be on the ballot. Because the more candidates on the ballot, the more choices you have. That's what we want. I don't want to be the only candidate on the ballot. I want every single person who thinks they want to run in this election to run up against me to go on the ballot. That's what I want. And the candidates in the race, we believe that the incumbent will be on the ballot. That's what is being said right now, Mr. Ruben Wells. We believe that Hetty Powell is going to be on the ballot. She's ran before. We believe that Alan Jennings will be on the ballot. He's ran before. Every single candidate on this ballot has ran before. These are professional politicians. We need a change here. And that's why I'm the only candidate that's ever worked in government. It's kind of shocking. This is the end of the day a government job. So those I think are the candidates, and we might have a couple more, or fewer, depending on how this process goes. What was the other question? What are we hearing about our chances? There are a lot of rumors, but we're here. I know that in this race I got to work twice as hard. There's not a single day that doesn't go by that I'm not at 4 or 5 events. Today alone, we started at the church. We went to the masjid for the. We were actually at one of the most influential churches in the neighborhood. Then we went to the Muslim Cultural Center, had a block kind of fundraiser celebration, and then we came here. That's a slow day, because we're celebrating the end of petitioning, I think, right, Alex? And on average day, we're working harder than everyone else. There's not an event that we don't go to or have a representative at. But we know that this picks up, we're going to need your help. I won't be able to attend every event, and we're going to need people to say, I'll step up. I'll go knock on the doors. I know that we have to be at that event, and there are going to be 3 of those events at the same day at the same time. And so we're going to need bodies at those places as well. We're calling on everyone now, step up. We need you now more than ever. And not just on social media. It's great. I love it. But we need you in the streets. We need bodies. Any other questions? Ms. Hussain? Okay, no.
Mistress, if you were to be elected, what are the top 2 or 3 issues that you target first once you won elected?
So I get that question a lot. What are you going to do? First, it's one of the hardest questions to answer because I'm not even elected as yet. Our office is on 133rd and Rockaway. I hope everyone's been to our office. The reality is people come to our doors now asking for help because they're not getting help from the current elected official. And it's basic things like an abandoned car in front of a mandir that hasn't been towed in 2 months, and we're the ones that have to go and help to get it towed. Getting city agencies involved. I think we're going to have basic quality of life issues that we want to tackle first. I just don't see how we can get beyond, solving bigger things like funding community centers and, cleaning up the streets, getting guns off the streets in South Jamaica because they're still going off every 4th of July. So I want to do big things, but I know that the only way we're going to get to those things is to make sure there's a garbage can on every block and it gets picked up regularly, that the buses run on time, that when somebody calls because there's an abandoned car or garbage, people come and dump garbage in our neighborhood, that those things get picked up. We're never going to be able to work on the big things if we can't solve those small things first. So, I hope that that's not uninspiring. The reality is that's the job. That's what, the city council member does. But I have big policy ideas as well. I'm going to support the legalization of safe basement apartments all across New York City because I believe that it's one of the solutions to addressing our homelessness. I'm going to support the allowing pre-citizenship voting. I want to see that happen day one when I'm elected. That allows people who are paying taxes without any representation the right to vote in local elections. It's happened in cities and other places in the country, and it should happen here too. We want to create a specialized high school. We want to build a specialized high school in this district because a lot of our students travel to the Bronx. They travel far out of the district just to go to school. So we want to do some exciting things, but the reality is we got to pick up the garbage, we got to make the buses run on time, we got to get that car towed, because then people are going to believe in government. Any other questions? Mr. Dolby.
I know you shared a lot of the improvements that you envision for the community, but could you just share your vision for what would be the difference between you being a representative for the district and what has been going on for the last 4, 10, 15 years? What would you like to see when you get up? What would you like kids to see when they get up? What would you like parents to see? What would you like grandparents to have when they go to the park on the weekend? Just tell me what I could see in Richmond Hill, Rockhill Village, Ozone, if you were our leader.
I can paint a picture, I'm a good artist. So close your eyes for a minute, Damon. Let me start with the first one. I'll be a council member that young people growing up can look up to, because the one that's going through a criminal trial for the last 6 years is not one that any of us should be aspiring to, and we should not have somebody like that as our council member at any point in time. And so I'll start with inspiration. And I hope that through my actions, more young people will get involved in politics, because I don't want politics to be a dirty word. I want, in this picture that I'm painting, young kids to say, oh, I actually want to be like Obama, not, not the other guy. But I want politics to be something as exciting as, being a cop, or as being an attorney, or as being a doctor. That's the first thing. I think it starts with the inspiration, and with public service. The other thing is, I want to be able to walk down Liberty Avenue, because that's where we are right now. And first of all, let's just pause there for a minute. Who's in this space for the first time? Isn't that nice? We got a rooftop, retractable rooftop, nice, safe space in our own neighborhood. Isn't that something? We don't got to go to Manhattan to get this. Right? So shout out to Elevate and everybody that made this happen. John, Quinn, Bobby, Ubi, Sanjay, Ubi. But you guys are really bringing world class to the neighborhood, and that's what we want, and that's what we need more of. And so let me paint you the picture, Damon, and I'll be really quick. You're walking down Liberty Avenue, and maybe it's called something else because we have Chinatown, because we have Little Italy. Maybe it's called something else. And there are people all across New York City coming here, like they do now, but even more, to enjoy our shops, to enjoy our restaurants with us. Not to push us out, with us. Because we have a beautiful, delicious culture that people are going to want to learn more about. And garbage will not be blowing up on their feet. and they will not be, driving over potholes, and it's Christmas and there are lights up. That's the neighborhood that I want to see, where we are proud of our culture and we're sharing with everyone in New York City. Because it's going to be the best district, and that's what we don't have right now. And I can elaborate more.
I love that picture.
All right. Ms. Rush.
Okay, so
And actually, I think it would be better if you guys just kind of introduce yourselves and what you do, because other people here are trying to get to know you too.
all of a sudden you start this. Shanita, hi.
And you're a teacher.
She's a teacher. She's a teacher at Transfer High School in Brooklyn. She's single.
She's acting like she's single.
So obviously I need new friends too. So my question is, District 28 encompasses Rochelle Village, South Oakland Park, Richmond Hill, and Oakland Park. What? South Jamaica, sorry. And my question is, those neighborhoods, even though I guess geographically they are grouped together, population-wise, economic-wise, they're kind of not similar. So when you're looking at it as a council member, or councilman, or as an individual now, like how do you kind of like, when you kind of take charge of this entire area, how do you think about meshing and melding it into one? Because that's part of the problem, right? Because we're so separate. So how do you plan on attacking that?
You're right. So we have four different neighborhoods. And the other thing that I'm going to change, David, if we're going to go back to painting this picture is, you notice we're south of everything? We're South Richmond Hill, we're South Ozone Park, we're South Jamaica. I'm tired of that. I don't want to be south of something else, I want to be the center. We're going to talk about that. That's there. But it shouldn't be south of anything, because it should be a place of its own. But these neighborhoods are very different. And the needs are very different. And they don't necessarily have to overnight mesh into being the same, because they're actually very different places and they're unique. And the issues regarding property taxes and home invasions that happen in South Ozone Park are not the same issues here in Richmond Hill, where you have more tenants, where you have more absentee landlords. They're not the same issue in South Jamaica, where you have one of the largest industrial business zones, where you have hotels turning into homeless shelters. And they're not the same issues that you have in Rochelle Village, where every single person owns a co-op, right? So we don't want them to look the same. That's not the answer here. But to solve the issue, I think you have to understand what each neighborhood's needs are. And so I'll give you an example. In Rochdale Village, where I've been spending a lot of time, it's a middle class, primarily black community. Something like 98% of the corporators there, those are the people who own their homes, are African American. You know what their number one issue is? And a lot of them are seniors too. A lot of people there care about the character of their neighborhood, right? It's a place that a lot of people are proud of. They've worked really hard to maintain, and now they're very old, and how do they transfer wealth to the next generation? Right? How do you do that in a co-op, in a Michelama? A lot of people, we need to begin talking about those things. And I wanted to use like an example that probably few of us are familiar with, because that's how different the needs are. You come to Richmond Hill, my goodness, people haven't even got a place to send their kids, right? Nowhere. Summer's here, they're probably gonna get arrested because they're gonna try weed for the first time. It's true. It's sad. Any other questions? Start at the back.
My name is Ravi, I'm a mortgage banker, and I'm very concerned about our young people. They are placed in jails for minor incident, like example, the city park closed at 9 p.m. Our young people may be walking through at 9:15. The cops come, they take them to Rikers Island. What is your opinion? What would you be able to do to prevent such activity to continue in the future?
Yeah, so, I don't know, maybe some people know this about me. I recently left my job. I resigned as Chief of Staff at the New York City Administration for Children's Services about 2 weeks ago. New York City ACS is responsible for young people. largely, they have a hand in that. And one of the things that I did at ACS and that the agency is responsible for is things like close to home facilities, juvenile justice, and criminal justice reform. So when you talk about decriminalizing marijuana, when you talk about having a more lenient policy for young people and in their interactions with the police department, those are the things that are actually actively underway. There is a new approach to policing that the mayor has launched called neighborhood policing. It's a model I believe in. I want to see the results of it. It's where there are dedicated cops to every single, not just police precinct, but the individual neighborhood, the individual block. It's going to be the same regular cops. You're going to get to know them. And I believe that how that helps is, so my friend Farah just had a baby and Danny. Fanny, together Fanny, they just had a baby. And so their kid, flash forward, 13 years from now, is walking through a park, and he shouldn't be there. She shouldn't be there. She's not going to get arrested. She's probably going to go. They know who her parents are because they're there all the time. They know who her parents are. It's not an anonymous kid. And so they're going to actually tell the parents first, and their parents is going to be responsible for disciplining them. Now, if it's a continuing problem, then we have a different issue. And that I think that has to be where it starts. Because the model that we've had for too long allowed young people to get arrested and have a criminal background follow them up until they go to college and even after that. And so I think we're at the cusp of some really important criminal justice reform measures right now, including the closure of Rikers Island. I support it. I think we're on the right track, and I want to see more of that here. Thank you, Ravi. All right, so should we close this up? Claudia? Yeah? So who was on our host committee? If you were on our host committee, I want to thank you so much for helping to invite folks out today, because you may not have heard from me because we were in the middle of petitioning. It's an extremely intense process. And so to be able to do an event the next day after petitioning is actually incredible. The only way we were able to do it is because you guys helped to really put this together. I'm fortunate that you're all choosing to spend your Sunday with us at this beautiful place. And I want to shout out so on the 12th, I think it's Wednesday, that's going to be exactly 2 months to Election Day. We're going to relaunch our website. Our website was done by Chad. He has a company called InnoSolutions, and he spent a lot of time making sure, and I want you to actually compare just our website to other people. We're going to kick ass. Thank you, Shad. I want you to make sure that before you leave this evening, you're getting to know other young people in this neighborhood. Because 8 or 10 years ago when we started ICA, which is what Fadi was talking about, we did something called a Young Professional Social, and that's where I met Nadia. Nadia, at that time, we used to do it in people's backyards. We used to call them garden parties. And Nadia actually performed for the first time for us, and maybe at the start of your career. I hope that you will continue to support people like Nadia, artists, creators like InnoSolutions and Shad, and other people here to make sure that we're all, creating a network that we're helping each other. I have to shout out the Miss Guyana pageant folks who are here. Can you say a couple of words about the Miss Guyana pageant, Christine?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jyoti. I'm the National Director for Miss Universe Guyana. I'm also the youngest director for Miss Universe.
Yeah.
And I took it over last year, and we've made moves, I can tell you that. Right now, all of our girls, whether they win or not, they have a $23,000 scholarship every year for 4 years to Hollins University in Virginia. It's an all-women's university, one of the oldest institutions in the United States for women. So, we're making waves. It's an honor to actually be representing women for my country, especially. It's dear to my heart. Started it because of my sister. She was murdered a few years ago. So it's been my fight since then. It's been 10 years, but it still feels like yesterday. But thank you for inviting me out to this great event, to meeting everyone. Our show is next month in New York at the York College Performing Arts Center. It is the first time it's being held in the United States, which is the home country and home state of the Miss Universe organization. So we've got the privilege over other countries who've been at this for 30 years and 50 years. I'm only at the second year, and I've got the privilege to bring it here. So I'm bringing it to our home in New York. I mean, in Guyana, yes, we love Guyana too, but we're building it in a way that we can take back to Guyana next year and be fully prepared for whatever is thrown at us. So thank you all for being so kind to me. And thank you for passing the mic on to me. I hope to see you next time. I hope to have you more involved.
Not on stage. Unless, you know. No, thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, we gotta support the Miss Guyana pageant. So wait, before Christine, anybody knows Christine? If you have Facebook. Well, what you may not know about Christine is that she also runs a small business, an electrical company with her husband, and they've been so generous to me, and they've been so generous to a lot of people in the community. I'm always honored to be around you, and we show love and we get love, so I appreciate that.
I'm glad you said that, because when you are elected, don't forget the little people and all the favors. You know, like I told my husband up to last night, I told him I'm a woman of many trades, master of none, and you know, he's like, oh, you're a master of everything. But I am also involved in the Miss Universe Guyana pageant, and just to add to what Jyoti said, we, of course, with the concerns that a lot of people have is if it's a Miss Guyana pageant, why is it being held here? And you know, it took a lot of paperwork, a lot of footing that Jyoti had to do, and really it's about building a brand. And being here for the young professionals of Indo-Caribbean people, it's very important that as a woman and being Guyanese and being young, Jyoti's trying to build a brand so that we can have something to be proud of as Guyanese. We're not trying to be sellouts in any way. We're just trying to make it better, make it bigger, and have people to not have the same ideas about Guyana. The other thing is, usually I don't get involved in pageants, but when this was presented to me, I have to say it's a very prestigious thing. Just knowing that I can be part of something that encourages young women, beautiful women, talented women, intelligent women. To add to what Fadia was saying earlier, when she came across crossroads that had roadblocks, basically. So we do want to encourage the young Guyanese women to be more and do more and have the support of the community. So come August 19th, I'm good at this commercial stuff, right? Save the date. I know there are lots going on in the community, but please come out and show your support and bring your family and thing. Thank you.
All right, there's a lot of Guyanese love, and I want you to remember that this is a diverse district, so I'm going to switch it up a little. Ruben is on our host committee, and Ruben's probably been to just about every... I haven't seen him in a couple months. You've been busy. Do you want to just say a couple words about the Queensway?
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Ruben. I live in Woodhaven, but I've been in a lot of these neighborhoods for many years. Went to school at MS 210. Around the time this was many years ago, I don't mind being aged. So I've been around in and around a lot of the neighborhoods. I'm a big foodie, so I've actually walked down Liberty just to get food. That is pleasing to me. I was actually down on Liberty earlier today after doing a 10-mile walk from Regal Park to Ellsworth Park. We were walking the 10 miles to just explore potential routes in and around what is the Queensway proposal that we're advocating for to convert the abandoned railway, which was the former Rockaway Beach branch, into Queensway, a new linear park. So it will be about a 3.5 mile park, and we've been working on it for a couple of years. We are hopeful that it will come to light and it will actually happen. We should find out more from the city by the end of the year. So here's to crossing fingers, positivity, positive vibes. Go out on September 12th and vote for Richard Page.
Thank you, Ruben. So, I know we've kept you past because we're working on West Indian time, the advertised time. I just want to shout out I Deliver, my friend Ryan, who's also a small business owner. Anytime you have a need, please work with him. My mom is here, and she's also she's an incredible supporter, and she's also a real estate agent. I know we have other real estate agents in the house as well. In closing, I wanna think about this for a minute. Think about this for a minute. Elton. Not thinking about Elton, but thank you. Thank you for being here. Elton is a champion boxer, and I'm really honored that you're here. But think about this for a minute. In the night of September 12th, we're together, we're all celebrating in a room, waiting for the results to come in. And I'm painting this picture that Damon wants to see. We're waiting in a room, and the results come in, and we are seeing that a young person that we are a part of, an event that we came out to, we have invested in, has won that election. What does that mean for all of us? I feel like overnight, it would be the most powerful blow that we can show to corruption and cronyism that we've had in Southeast Queens. And for the first time in a long time, we'd be actually getting funding back to our neighborhood, the same money that everyone else in New York City is spending. I want you, after leaving today, to continue to tell your friends and family, we need the motivation level to be up. And I need you to donate. Our funding deadline is coming up. It's on Wednesday. Please give as generously as you can. It's the only way we can continue to sustain this campaign. Thank you so much for sharing your Sunday with me, and let's cool out now.